Hey, Aurora. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Brandon. You purring. Hey, Lynette. Extra late today, but it is what it is. Wasn't my plan, but it's just how it worked out. Had a very hectic day and had to get up early and took a nap. Yeah, so does Wilson, and they're starting to tear at it some, but still structurally sound right now. Hey, Kimberly. But we get Chewy boxes all the time, so we'll have another box to replace this one when it gets too bad. Hey, D Hutch. And there's the lag I was waiting on. Let's see if it persists and if I need to reset or not. I think she's doing much better. She was up and about and trying to work on the pool a little bit earlier today while I was out running around doing all kinds of errands, and of course this weekend when it's super hot, the air conditioner in her car is starting to act up, so got to get that dealt with soon, because I drove her car to meet the lady to pick up the foster cat, or the foster kitten, and take her some litter and make sure she got all her food and whatnot. And it was hot. It was a very uncomfortable drive. Tell you, kind of glitchy. If you'll give me just a second, I'm gonna reset and hopefully correct this. Sit tight and I'll be right back. Otherwise, I'll make a new stream, but hopefully this works again. I've had good luck in the past couple of days, but I'll be right back. All right, hopefully that fixes that. And yeah, Stella is quite chilled out tonight, which is surprising since Tabby was just in here. He ran out as soon as I opened the door to come back in, though. But no, I had to go to PetSmart and pick up the litter for the kitten and then go over to the vet and meet the lady there, and they warned me that they had a busy day, and so not to come too early to pick her up, and got there right around 11:30, and they were still working with her. So we sat around and chatted for 20-30 minutes while they finished up, and by that point it had gotten even hotter outside, and I'm thinking, well, maybe the car just needs more refrigerant. Are we playing tug of war now, Hank? So I went to the auto parts store and got one of those cans of refrigerant that's got the little gauge on it that tells you, if you need to add any, if it's full and all that stuff. And it costs $35 for me to use the gauge that says it doesn't need any refrigerant in it. And I wasn't sure what that meant, if maybe I got a defective can or what. So I just went to one of the little oil change places and asked them to check it, and they totally evacuated the system and refilled it. And it's still not cooling, so my hunch is it's going to have a new condenser put on it. The compressor is kicking on and off, but it's just not cooling. I'm not a mechanic. I'm just making a guess there, but it's not something I'm going to try to tackle, because you have to evacuate the system, and that refrigerant stuff is terrible for the environment, so you have to have the right kind of pump to get it out of there and contain it. And if you don't get it all out, it'll spray when you start removing hoses, and it's bad news. Yeah, if it's not one thing, it's another, Connie. But we've had that car for, gosh, 7 years now, and have not had any problems out of it. So, and it's got almost 96,000 miles on it now, and will probably run for 300,000 or more if we keep it that long, as long as it's maintained. I have no real gripes about that car. I can't say anything bad about it, other than driving it right now is miserable because it's hot. It's a Honda. Look at you. Bring that back here. Give me that. Give me that. Well, Wilson, what are you doing? Yeah, my next vehicle will be, I can't speak for Melanie, but my next truck will be a Toyota. If I have my way and can afford one. They're not cheap. Wilson. So yeah, after all that, to add to my story, before I had come to the conclusion that there was something wrong I couldn't fix, I also was reading online that a dirty or clogged condenser can cause your air conditioning not to work as well. So I had to pull some plastic pieces off under the hood to get to the condenser, and I had some coil cleaner, and I cleaned the condenser as well as I could, and that didn't really seem to have much of an effect. So, and I also had to go to Home Depot to get some pool chemicals and all that, and just by the time I was home and had done all the stuff to the car and put it all back together, I was just dripping with sweat and tired. I had not eaten lunch at that point, so I ate some lunch and then proceeded to nap on the couch for a little while, which is why we were late feeding these guys, and I forgot to charge my phone while I was napping, so I had to wait on that. But all that to say that we're late doing this tonight, and that's why. And another hectic day tomorrow, in all likelihood. I know of at least 3 things I have to get done tomorrow, so. But maybe Melanie will feel well enough to go with me to PetSmart and help with the cages. We don't even have 2-legged children, D Hutch. I don't know how people with kids can do it. She's feeling better right now. They gave her. She got to the doctor yesterday, and they wouldn't give her another steroid or anything like that since she had already had 2 shots. But they gave her a stronger antibiotic, and she's been preemptively taking medicine to keep her fever away. But so far, so good. She seems to feel okay right now. So hopefully it's over. Yeah, and speaking of, I forgot, I always have to check in on Lily, Stumpy, and Clara while I'm out and about doing things. So they were in the mix. I hung out with them for a little while. But tomorrow I get to see if I can set a trap for a feral when I get done with the cages at PetSmart. Yeah, it's normally Clara that does that, but I've seen Lily do it a time or two. No, this one, a lady contacted Paws, and she's been feeding this one for a while, and she says it's living, or it hangs around. I don't know if lives is quite the word, but it's hanging around a house that is about to be demolished by the city because it's dilapidated and falling in, and she's afraid it'll get hurt over there or run away and not come back, and she wants to trap him and get him fixed and try to keep him around. I don't know how feral he is. I think she has ambitions of making him a pet, but don't know how well that'll go. She said that he'll let her get very close to him, but will not let her pet him. It sounds like she was gonna, in talking to her, she said that if she trapped him, she was gonna bring him in the house and keep him in her bathroom until Monday morning. And I said, well, you may not want to do that because he's liable to spray everywhere. But if you do bring him in, make sure you put a towel over the trap. Same with when you transport him, because you don't want him spraying in your car either. That would not be good. But she said that she's worried he has a few health problems. He definitely limps, and she doesn't know what else. The picture I saw of him, he looks like he's had a rough time of it. But basically all I'm doing is loaning her a trap, and I'm going to set it for her and show her how to reset it, and if she needs to. Hey, Fern. But hopefully it will be seamless, and she can take it to the clinic first thing Monday morning and get him fixed, and that'll be done. I don't know how much actual of a wellness evaluation they'll do at the spay and neuter clinic, but that's definitely the cheapest option to get him fixed, and then she can go on from there as far as getting him to the vet. She said she had a vet that she normally uses for her other cat, and that's another issue altogether. If what are you eating on the floor? To bring him into an environment where there's already another cat, I don't know how it's going to work if he's feral. But I guess stranger things have happened. Well, we don't have any excuses, Connie. We don't have kids, so should at least be charitable when we can be. Hey, Aaron. And hello, Apollo. Oh, I wish I would have gotten the jump on the in view, but I missed that one. Wilson, you're not being very entertaining. As soon as I start petting Stella, she just rolls over in this box. You know, I guess I should keep a box around for her at all times, though. When we first caught her and took her to the vet while she was still pregnant, that was the first bed she had. They put a box with some towels in it in the little kennel, and she laid in it and she loved it. So I think I'll just keep her equipped with a cardboard box all the time. And Wilson loves them too, so maybe we need 2 boxes in here so they each can have one. I've considered putting a towel or something in here, but I don't know if she even cares about that. Well, now you're going to roll over on the floor. He does. She just got out and he hopped in. That's why I'm saying we may need to bring another one in here. Let them both have one. What you doing, Wilson? You gonna roll over in there now? We usually keep a couple, but when they're in the living room, they get torn up pretty quick. Everybody hopping in and out of them and rolling around. Sounds like we need to tighten up some screws on the tree. It's making a squeaking sound when he pounces all over it. Yeah, our cats typically just, I mean, eventually the inside of it wears out, but they always like chew on these outside flaps, and that's how they destroy the boxes we have. I'm gonna slide over a little bit so I can pet everybody and throw your mouse, Hank. Whoa. Stella. He didn't like that loud thump on the wall when Wilson jumped down. Did you give him your mouse, Hank? You just dropped it in the box with Wilson. This is the one that doesn't rattle very much. What about this one? You're not going to bring that one back. I'll tell you what. We'll give Wilson this one, and you can go back to having this one. So, Hank likes the white mice, or Wilson likes the white mice, I should say, and Hank prefers the gray mice. I just tossed the black one. He brought it back to right there and then dropped it, but pretty consistently brings the gray one back. You know, I never got a reply back in my email from the people that wanted to adopt Hank. Not that they could get him. There's no way I'm gonna send him to Puerto Rico, but I was just curious if it was someone from YouTube that saw him or what the deal was. It's the only thing I could come up with as to how they found out about Hank. Unless they just really screwed up a zip code in Pet Finder or something. Take that out of here. You don't need that. I don't know. They sent an inquiry through the Pet Finder page about him. So I don't know how serious it was, but serious enough for them to inquire is all I can really tell you. But it's the internet, so you never can tell for sure. Are you not tired yet? Are you ever tired? I don't think you're ever tired of this, are you? Yeah, I kind of wish I could find these little rattly toys that are shaped like a basketball, and maybe get a little basketball hoop in here, toss them up, and let Hank reject them on the way to the goal. Because it's rare now that when I toss him up in the air that he ever lets them get past him anymore. Even when I throw him up on the tree, you know, I'd say 75% of the time he either swats it away or catches it before it even lands up there. At least gets a foot on it. You ready? Yeah, you're more concerned with your bath than the mouse. You need a break. I hope so. I mean, days like today when I'm not home for, gosh, I took Luna to the vet at 8 this morning, and I came home and was out the door again by 10ish. And then I wasn't home again until after 3. But days like that, it's just, I feel bad that I'm off work, but I'm not in here socializing with them. And of course, they're in here by themselves every day while we're at work. And she seems to be okay. He said there's a couple of possibilities of what may have made her sick, and she wasn't throwing up a lot, but there would just be little spots where she would throw up a little bit of food after she had eaten. And she had a mild recurring cough. I mean, it wasn't like a full-on hacking cough. It's just like she would do that 2 or 3 times here and there. And being that she's 12 years old now, it kind of concerned us. She was not eating dry food, or she has not been eating much. They did find an ulcer in her mouth. They're probably going to treat with a steroid, but they took some blood, and they'll have the blood work back Monday. He said inflammatory bowel disease is a possibility as far as the throwing up and all that. He said her heart and lungs sounded good, so the coughing may be a result of, her throat is irritated from the vomiting, or, just theorizing at this point until the blood work comes back. She was her bladder was totally empty anyway. I shouldn't say she was dehydrated. He didn't say that verbatim that she was dehydrated, but they were going to get a urine sample, but they couldn't get that, so he said bring her back Monday, possibly, to get a urine sample, depending on what the blood work shows. If the blood work shows something, it may be unnecessary. Don't eat the box. But we have one of those racist holidays coming up in Alabama on Monday that the state employees are off work. And Melanie's office is also closed. She's not a state employee, but they follow the state employee schedule. So she's off work Monday and can take her in to do that. Wilson, Stella is going to be really upset when you destroy her box. I don't remember which one this is. It might be Confederate Memorial Day or something stupid. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, because it usually falls about the same time as Memorial Day. So yeah, all the state employees get the day off work to sit at home and tell racist jokes and racist stories or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody actually observes that crap. It's just a day off, but that's on the calendar every year. Oh yeah, well, we're more backwards than South Carolina could ever think about being, so very stupid. I mean, I would not argue with a day off, but they should at least come up with a different reason for it. Workers' mental health awareness day or something, or mental health holiday. They could come up with something that wouldn't offend anybody. Nobody's offended by a day off, so just make it something else. A lot of that stuff would probably be done away with if they ever rewrote the state constitution here, which they have avoided for many, many years. Our constitution is from the 1800s sometime. I don't remember. I should know. but I don't. It's an 1800s state constitution. I want to say 1801, and they just keep tacking on amendment after amendment after amendment. It's like one of the longest constitutions in the United States now. Well, I try not to go off on too many political rants on here, but Alabama is just. If I was not born and raised here, I wouldn't stay here probably. But the fact that I am born and raised here, and there's a lot of things I love about this place, and there's some things I don't like. Politics and ideologies of a lot of people around here I don't agree with, but this is my home, so I deal with it. You crouching down. Are you about to pounce on Wilson? No, I hate the politics here. It's and the thing that people don't realize is that until 2010, Alabama's legislature was majority Democrat. It wasn't until 2010 that it was flipped. I don't prescribe to any one particular party. There's things I agree and disagree with about both of them, but considering how uber conservative Alabama is, it's just surprising to take that into perspective. That we had a Republican governor and a Democratic legislature. House and Senate was majority Democrat. Well, I should just start filming in random places and let you hear all the people talking. There was a guy behind me at the grocery store that was just yesterday. I went to the grocery store and we used the pharmacy at the grocery store, and I had to pick up a few other things. And there was a guy, behind me in the line that was way country. I mean, it's about as country as you can get, and I just had to listen to him because of one, the way he was talking, and two, the things he was saying, which I can't repeat here because it was riddled with expletives. You know, I wish I'd gotten pictures of the little kitten that lady picked up today and is fostering now. I was told yesterday that it was about 6 weeks old, and when I saw it today, I said, no way, that cat is 6 weeks old. 4 at the most. I like the New York accent. There are people that don't, but yeah, it was the kitten was super tiny and was, I guess it's still considered a gray tabby, but it was light gray like Percy was. It was a little girl. But they said she was eating wet food, and I told the lady, we gave her some kitten formula just to mix it up in a soupy consistency, and they said that she had eaten wet food, so I'm sure she can handle that. It's sick right now. They gave her a tube of Viralis, I think is what it was called, and a couple of syringes to give her that a couple times a day, and she's got to take her in to get rechecked on Tuesday to make sure she's getting well. Sitting here running my mouth and not throwing your mouse. That's what you're waiting on. Oh. He almost landed in my lap. Well, I'm kind of hopeful that she'll need a buddy soon. While she's sick, she needs to, the lady has other cats, and she'll need to keep them separated from the kitten for a while, but hopefully it'll need a buddy and she'll take in another one to foster along with it. But she was a super nice lady. Did you get something in your eye, buddy? Something in your eye? Well, I was looking earlier today. I think I've told you guys we've always fed our, well, not always, but in the last several years we've been feeding our cats the Authority, which is the decent variety of PetSmart brand food. I think we're going to have to switch. The fact that he keeps getting these UTI deals, especially when we started switching him over to the Authority food, we get the turkey and giblets flavor, because we had issues with the other cats not liking certain kinds and all that, and they always seem to like that. But they've changed the ingredients in it again. I noticed the consistency of it had been different lately, and I didn't really think much of it until this guy started getting his issues again, where he was squatting in the box and all that and not really peeing much. But they started putting ocean fish in the turkey and giblets recipe for some reason, and we've always tried to avoid the fish because I think one or two of the cats didn't really like it. I want to say that's what we first gave Murray when he had his first episode with UTI stuff, and we've avoided it ever since. And now they put it in the food we give all our cats, so they're getting it again, and I've got to figure out what we're going to switch them to now, because I don't want to keep giving them that, especially if it's messing with this guy. I can't say with 100% certainty that's what it is, but it's just kind of strange that they change the food and his issue starts creeping up again. Because I think the kitten food that they were getting before had some kind of fish in it, and that was when he first had his issues when we brought him here. Is there a tabby out there? I don't know that for a fact, D. Hutch, but it seems to be a possibility. It definitely affected Murray when he was getting it. And it's just been, recently that Wilson started having any problems again. But I don't know what we'll switch them to. We'll figure something out. We liked the Nutromax stuff, but they're supposedly discontinuing all Nutromax, which is what Lily, Stumpy, and Clara had been getting. So I've got to figure out what we're going to switch them to. Yeah, this switching food stuff sucks. Wish we could just get something and it would be left alone. I put you in the description and then you ran away as soon as I opened the door. Uh-huh. Well, I described it as that. Yeah. Come on, you guys. There you go. Do I have any more mice in my pocket? Yes, I do. Oh, there's your favorite one. Here's your favorite one. Yeah, we went to, I'd always wanted to go to New York, and we went on vacation there in 2010 before we were certifiably insane cat people. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I didn't do much exploring in Brooklyn. We went to Brooklyn one time, and I was kind of afraid on the train to Brooklyn at night to where we were going, but nothing happened. We were fine. It was just being from Alabama and being on a train at 10:30 at night going into not so great part of Brooklyn was a bit unnerving. It felt like everybody was just glaring at us. It was probably obvious that we weren't from New York. Pretty much. And that was without me opening my mouth to say anything. Had I said anything, I'm sure it removed all doubt. Hey, Mr. Krabs. She's right there. She is glaring at Tabby at the moment. Hank has started this new thing where he latches onto his mice and doesn't want to let them go. Can I have this? Thank you. Good catch. What's he doing, Hank? No interest. What about this? No interest. Yeah, it's around his dinner time. We normally feed them between 10 and 10:30, but I fell asleep and Melanie took a bath and they were late getting their dinner, so figured I'd wait a little later to feed them their late food. So I think Hank has done enough running around to work up an appetite, huh? She is doing better today. Just hope it sticks this time. Third time is always the charm, what I told her. Are you trying to lose it under the flap? Or just hide it for safekeeping? Stella's in meditation mode, ignoring Tabby's presence. I'll close my eyes and make it all disappear. You want this again? Yeah, I was saying a little while ago, we probably need to tighten some screws up on there. It made kind of a squeaking sound when he lunged on it a minute ago. What's the problem over here? Wilson is trying his best to be friends with Tabby. Tabby just won't let him yet. Wilson also ran out in the hall when I was in here earlier, and he crossed paths with Salem, and they just kind of rubbed noses and were totally cool. No problems there. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I didn't mean to throw it over there to you, Stella. I was trying to hit the box, but I tossed it left-handed. Stella's being a grump. But yeah, Salem has been pretty agreeable. Hey, Carmel. The past couple of times I've let Salem in here, he jumps up on the tree a little bit and he goes over and gets on the top of this bookshelf, and he does not want to leave when I especially didn't want to leave last night when I put him out. But I was going outside to do yard work and just wasn't able to keep an eye on him. Hey. You.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm not looking at you. Open the door. It's all the light on. Stop.
Stop.
Wilson put his mouse out in the hall. Tabby, there's no food in there. Oh, really? Not really sure why. I don't think I've ever seen Stella lay up there. Trying to get as little of the computer screen as I can. It tends to make this look all yellow. She looks so much like Lily. Well, or Lily looks so much like her. You have a hair stuck to you. They both have the same bad temper, that's for sure. Lily can get angry when she wants to. She's sweet as can be, but if she gets spooked by another cat or even a dog or something like that, she is not very nice. What? I don't have any more mice in my pocket, Hank. He's over here tapping my pocket. I normally gather up all the mice and I stick them in my pocket, so I have a few backups if he drops one without bringing one back. And now he thinks I have more, and I don't. Are you trying to chew on the box? Or just rub on the box? So you're claiming it, huh? You just gotta wipe your scent all over it and make sure everybody knows it's yours. I don't think anybody in here is gonna argue with you. Let's move that. I don't think you care about that. Yeah, I should probably wind down too. I think these guys are probably about ready to eat. And we've gone almost an hour, so 55 minutes to be exact. But busy day tomorrow. Not sure what time I'll get to do this, but it will be late afternoon at the earliest, and maybe into the evening. I'm just not sure yet. And speaking of, I just got my low battery warning, so I spoke at just the right moment. But I will do my best to do this again. I just don't know exactly how my day is going to play out tomorrow with a couple of things, the trap and the cages especially. I don't know what time I'll be back home, so. But thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. Enjoyed talking to everybody, and I hope you all have a good night, and hope to see you again tomorrow. But have a good one, everybody.